And I will start recording. So, as I mentioned today, it's all about the Master of Biological Chemistry, which is a fully joint run program by the University of JKU in Linz and also University of South Bohemia in České Budějovice, which is in Czech Republic. Actually, it's only 1 hour drive from Linz, although it is already across the border. This is just a small overview about what we will talk today. So just to give you short information about the uniqueness of this study, about the main study focus, a little bit about the courses which you may find in this study program, and of course, what are your career opportunities after finishing this study. Of course, we have some frequently asked questions. You can also ask questions at any time. And in the end, you just get to know some important contacts and people which you can contact in case you need something more. So as I already mentioned, it is a joint study program between two universities. So all the students are full students of both universities, meaning that you will be registered in Linz at JKU, but also at the University of South Bohemia in Budweis from the beginning and for the whole duration of the study. It started in 2010 as a follow-up to its bachelor sibling, biological chemistry, which started in 2007. The main idea was to cover the increasing need for students of interdisciplinary programs which are joining chemistry studies and biology studies. So both cities are not far away. As I mentioned, you can reach Budweis within 1 hour by car, but there is also good train and bus connection. And I have to point out that the students are not commuting on a regular basis. The program is set over 5 semesters, with the first year being in Linz. So first 2 semesters are spent fully in Linz. And for the second year, students move to Budweis, where they spend 2 other semesters. This study has 1 extra semester, the 5th one, because general master studies are finished within 4 semesters. This is just to make sure that students have enough time to carry out practical master thesis, and it depends purely on the students where he or she want to spend it, if it's in Linz or in Budweis. I have to say from my personal experience, a lot of us started to work on a master thesis already way before. So either during the second year, some students start right at the beginning during the first year. It's not that they would be forced to, they just want to, because it gives you much more time to carry out some research to get nice results. And we also had students who this way managed to be finished within those 2 years. So they didn't even need the 5th semester in order to successfully close their studies. Since it is a joint degree, you will actually get 2 diplomas, one from JKU in Linz, that's Master of Science, MSc, and a Czech equivalent from University of South Bohemia, which is Magister, but they are equivalent. You can use both, you can use MSc, it depends on you. It is highly international study. It is fully held in English. All our students are coming basically from around the globe. So we don't have just Austrian or just Czech students. Actually, majority of the students is coming from other EU and non-EU countries, also from other continents. So we have a lot of students from Asia, America, also Africa. So, and of course, this holds also for the lecturers. So all the lecturers are also not coming directly from the JKU or USB. We have a lot of guest lecturers from other universities. So what are the specialties in this part? I just would like to focus a little bit more on the University of Budweis, because you won't hear about that one during these open days very much, but just to give you some short background, it's fairly a new university. I mean, it just celebrated 30 years of existence. And it has been modernized very much during the past few years with respect to its campus amenities, with some free time activities, sport activities for students. It has also modernized dormitories, which are in this case located directly into the campus. So basically what it means, you can be in the lab within 5 minutes from your apartment. They are not only university dormitories, there are also private ones, which of course offer you more comfort. And when we compare prices with respect to, let's say, Austrian dormitories, I would say that the price is maybe half or less per month. So the university itself and Faculty of Science at University of South Bohemia also went through a major renovation. We have a completely new building with new labs equipped with top-notch equipment. Also, a lot of the study is carried out not only on the campus, but you have opportunity to visit also outfield locations of the university. So on the picture, you can see so-called Algatech, that is a specialized location, an institute of one of the Czech Academy of Sciences. So in here, you will have some courses, practicals, but also lectures. And this location focuses mainly on bioenergetics, photochemistry, molecular biology of algae, where they get to grow them by themselves. And it is located half an hour ride from Budweis. It is in the middle of nature in a very small town. So it's really beautiful that you would also have possibility to carry out nice research in this kind of location. As I already mentioned, we have a lot of guest professors. In Czech, it is a lot of professors coming from Prague, mainly from institutes of Czech Academy of Science. That is also a big advantage of this study, that the campus of the University of South Bohemia is jointly shared by so-called Biology Center, which has a lot of institutes coming from the Czech Academy of Science. So our students have actually possibility to join their research groups, and most of the master theses are carried out there for those who decide to pick master thesis topic in Budweis. The main focus is on molecular biology, genetics, and biochemistry. So if I switch now to the general master study of biological chemistry, also in Linz, it is highly oriented on general problem solving, whether it is in chemistry fields or more biology, life science fields. The main focus is on being multidisciplinary. So the focus ranges from, let's say, technical chemistry, organic chemistry, physical chemistry, biophysics, to gene and protein engineering, bioanalysis, and so on. So the scope is very broad, it's very multidisciplinary. We also encourage students to train a lot in their communication abilities in order to be able to present their results or research highlights very easily in international science field. So they get to do a lot of highly specialized seminars. They take part in international presentations and so on. There is also highly advanced expertise in bioanalytical chemistry, bioorganic chemistry, of course, general biochemistry, and also structural biology, may it be X-ray crystallography, now very modern cryogenic electron microscopy, or either nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. We have also ongoing expertise in very up-to-date topics of biosciences, so life sciences, but also instrumental technologies, so a development of these kinds of technologies. And a big focus is made on hands-on experience. So around 20-25% of the subjects are actually practical laboratories or seminars where students get to do the things with their own hands in the labs, which is the most important. And this is also the reason why most of the students wish to start their master thesis very early, because there's nothing that can substitute your own practical experience in the lab. So this is an overview from our most up-to-date curriculum. So this is a typical study plan of a student who graduated from Bachelor of Biological Chemistry and now wants to continue in the master study of biological chemistry. I have to mention that we have also very individual tailored study plans for students coming from other universities or other study programs. So this way you can make sure that it is ideal for you. For instance, if you had more chemistry in your bachelor, you can have some of those courses recognized for the master, and then you can focus more of the time on the biological subjects and vice versa. So this is just to accommodate all possible student profiles coming into this study program. So actually most of the subjects are elective. So the profile of a student is very different for each one of them. So for instance, you can end up as being trained as a structural biologist or as a physical chemist with this kind of a study. So the individual study way is very different for each of us, but it depends on you, which courses you choose to have and so on. But at the same time, you also get training in all the other ones, at least let it be a basic one. So chemistry and technology for biological chemists, that is a block which is compulsory for most of the students. From these you get 10 ECTS. Then you have various support courses. This might be practice of English presentation or patent law, gender studies, literature researching, and these kinds of things. Then you can choose from a very broad range of chemical specializations. As an example, I just included a few of the lectures and practicals which we have at JKU. In the second semester, you have basically very similar outline. Again, you have a compulsory block of chemistry and technology, which is same for everyone, but then you get to choose different support courses, different chemical specializations, and then there is a huge list of pool of specific elective courses, and these are really very different. So you can either choose mathematical modeling of macromolecules, you can do bioanalytics, you can do biomimetics, bionics, very different fields, I would say. Then input-wise, the concept is very similar. Biology and biochemistry is the same for everyone, where the main emphasis is put on gene and protein engineering, molecular biology, and genetics and biochemistry. But of course, you can also do some kinds of molecular modeling. And then you can choose from different biological electives. There is a lot of microscopy, electron microscopy. We also have courses on atomic force microscopy. We have also biopharmacy, virology, so a lot of different subjects. This is just to summarize all the possible techniques which are taught during this curriculum. We can separate them into bigger blocks, I would say. So a lot of analytical techniques, let it be techniques used in chemistry or in biology. So I guess you all know PCR technique by now. So of course our students will get trained in this one as well. And then actually our students were also included in testing against COVID-19 at the University of South Bohemia, where they had to create their own testing unit at the Faculty of Science. There's also a lot of sequencing, of protein sequencing, a lot of chromatographies, either automated one or manual ones, electrophoresis, colorimetry, patch clamp technique, antibody tests, a lot of mass spectroscopy. For the structure analysis, you will be trained in DNA sequencing, RNA sequencing, and as I already mentioned, a lot of different microscopy types. So ranging from fluorescence microscopy to confocal one, to beautiful cryo-electron microscopy, but also from NMR spectroscopy, a lot of dynamics simulations, so molecular dynamics. We have also other kinds of spectroscopies like Raman, IR, but we didn't even list all of the things in here because it would be maybe too much. We will also get to learn about the CRISPR technique, synthesis of DNA, use of stable isotopes for labeling of probes, synthesis of peptides, either it is solution phase synthesis or solid phase automated synthesis, which is highly requested nowadays in industry, but also synthesis of proteins from the cells. So again, gene manipulation, expression of the proteins, their purifications, and these kinds of things. And of course, last but not least, standard pure organic synthesis, which is important for our graduates as well. So what could you actually do with Master of Biological Chemistry? You can either choose if you would like to go into the industry or continue in academia. For industry, you might know that in Linz, chemical industry is huge. It's an ideal opportunity for you if you would like to go this way. You have a very broad field, basically, where to apply to, because this interdisciplinary education is highly sought of in the industry, but also in like the state agency or private agency, also on the EU level. You have career opportunities in the middle to large industries, and we can divide it into wide biotechnology, which is mainly industrial biotechnology, so organic synthesis of the chemical productions. We have also red biotechnology, which is more going into the medical way, so biomedical sciences. Then we have a green biotechnology, which is mainly photochemistry and its respective biotechnologies, but also bioanalysis. And we have also medical diagnostic techniques and so on. A graduate of our study, if he doesn't wish to continue further, is an ideal candidate for, let's say, starting as a junior group leader in small and also bigger companies, but most of them will end up as senior leaders quite often after, let's say, 1 or 2 years. It depends, of course, on your experience and so on. And of course, a lot of our students go for a higher education, so for a doctorate study, and or they go to the R&D in industry afterwards. So in here, I just summarized the profile of our students. So when we calculated it, basically, half of the students continued in a PhD at a different university. And this is just a selection of the university where our students successfully applied to. So they're not only in Austria or in Czech, but over the whole Europe. Some of them even went far, far away to Australia. They had absolutely no problem to applying there and being accepted without any further things needed to be done. But a lot of students actually stay and continue in PhD study at JKU or at the University of South Bohemia. But those who wished to go to industry right after master, they ended up working for these companies. So you might recognize some of the names. So what are the most frequently asked questions? Are there any scholarships? Yes, so there are some specific scholarships for students, let's say, coming from Upper Austria or even from some selected countries. So for this, you can always visit the web pages of the international office at the JKU. And for students going abroad for the second year, you will get to apply for an Erasmus scholarship. So this will get you covered all the basic costs of like the accommodation or traveling and so on. How does the accommodation work in Czech Republic? Actually, it's quite straightforward. You can choose either from the university student dormitories at the campus, or you can go to a private one, or a lot of students actually rent out a flat together in the city center or so, because the prices are very nice compared to Linz, I would say. So of course, it's also good when you have a contact to last year's students, so they actually sometimes even share the flat and do it this way. Can you do a master thesis at a company during the study? Yes, of course. We already had few students who did it this way. It's completely up to you We have already established collaboration with some of the companies, but let's say one of the students even found out the company himself, went to Germany, to GE. So for this, you just need to find a respective supervisor at either JKU or USB, who would be responsible for then the master thesis and your master exam. But you can do the practical work completely at a company. Usually they also pay you for that. And it is a nice introductory step if you wish to go into the industry after finishing the master study. So in the end, I would just like to point out a few important contacts. So the ones on the left are general for the study at JKU. The ones in the blue are specific for our biological chemistry. So if you wish, you can contact Professor Miller, who is the main responsible person at JKU for biological chemistry. We have also our own webpage where you can find all the relevant information, all the curricula, all the things you need to fulfill in order to be able to apply for this study. Or you can also contact me if you have any practical questions. We are also on Facebook, either as a Facebook page, or we have a private group of all the students who study this program. And I find this is the best way how to contact them, because this study is not big. We don't have so huge number of students, which I feel is a big advantage, because all the students know all their teachers and vice versa, and it's much more cozy. So with this, I would like to thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.